Hey there, folks. I'm going to walk you through this time of death warm-up. This will involve Alger Mortis, the cooling of the body, and a Livor Mortis, the coloration of the body due to the pooling of blood. So you want to be looking at this sheet. Either you printed this out or you've got this open in another tab, the editable electronic copy, and I'm going to walk you through it. Hit pause in the video and read the scenario. Okay, so we've got a body that shows permanent lividity along the front of the body and the back of the body. It also has some bruising in a couple of locations. It's in a room that isn't very hot or very cold, so we can kind of ignore the room temperature. And but the room is a mess. Chairs were knocked over, painting has been knocked off the wall. So how many hours have passed? Okay, well, you need to have your helper chart. You need to be looking at the timeline for Livor Mortis. Okay? How many hours have passed since these observations were made? We've got permanent lividity, so it must be over 8 hours, okay? Right up here, it tells us we've got permanent lividity, so it must be over 8 hours. Okay, was the corpse moved after death? Well, we have lividity along the front of the body and the back of the body. That means the corpse must have been in two different positions, okay, on two different sides of the body. So sometime between 2 hours and 8 hours, the corpse was flipped over. And so depending on which side it was found on, maybe it started on the front and was flipped to the back, or vice versa. We don't have that information. Okay, moving on. Based on the evidence, the manner of death. Remember, there are only 4 choices for manner of death. And based on the clues here, I would say that this is going to probably be, where's my pen, a homicide due to the most likely cause of death probably is strangulation. Okay, well, we've got a lot of clues that tell us there's bruising on the neck. That's a clue that it might be strangulation. Bruising on the arms and knocked over items in the room. That's a clue of there's some sort of assault or struggle that happened. Okay, this probably was not suicide or accidental or natural death due to these clues. Okay, now flip the sheet over and we're going to work with Alger Mortis. Okay, and to do this, you can use your reference tables or you can use that separate PDF that I gave you with the flow chart. Okay, so we've got some temperature information. And remember, the human body starts out at 37 degrees. Okay, so here we go. Body was found at 9 p.m. with a temperature of 31 degrees. What was the approximate time of death? So we're going to figure out how many hours passed since this person died, and then go backwards from 9 p.m. to figure out the approximate time of death. Okay, so first up, we have to calculate the temperature drop and see where we're going to go in this flow chart. Okay, so we started at 37 degrees because everyone starts at 37. Goes down to 31. So we've got a drop of 6 degrees. Okay. 6-degree drop. Okay, that means we are over towards this part of the flow chart. The drop is less than 9.36. The human body drops in temperature by 9.36 degrees in 12 hours, or less than 12 hours. So this is easy. We just have to calculate using 0.78 degrees per hour. So we take that 6-degree drop, divide it by 0.78, okay. And when we run the numbers, what do we get? That gives us 7.7 hours. Okay, 7.7 hours is pretty close to 8 hours. Okay, so we'll just round to the nearest hour here. Okay, the body was found at 9 p.m. Okay, so 9 minus 8 equals 1 p.m. is our estimated time of death. Okay, estimated TOD. Okay, let's try one. You know the next one is going to be a little more complicated, of course. Okay, a third body was found at 11 a.m. with a temperature of 25 degrees. What is the approximate time of death? So again, we start out figuring out the drop. 37 minus 25 equals a 12-degree drop. Okay, 12-degree drop means that's a bigger number than 9.36, so it must have been more than 12 hours. The temperature drops by 9.36 in the first hours. Any other drop means that's more time than 12 hours, and we have to do that slightly more complicated calculation. So we're greater than 9.36. So what do? We say, okay, well, the 12 degrees minus 9.36 is our drop after 12 hours. So 12 minus 9.36 is 2.64 drop after 12 hours. We've got to convert that 2.64 degrees to a number of hours using the second calculation. So that's 2.64. We're doing this part right here. Okay, 2.64 divided by 0.39. 0.39 degrees per hour is what it drops the second time. That comes out to 6.8 hours. Okay, so the temperature dropped for 12 hours and went down by 9.36, and then for that second drop to happen, 6.8 hours must have passed. So we'll call 6.8 close to 7 hours. We'll go to the nearest hour or half hour. So the total time is 12 hours for the first drop, plus 7 hours for the second, equals 19 hours have passed. Okay. Now we have to figure out, okay, what was the approximate time of death? Okay, 11 a.m. If we go back 12 hours, that would take us to 11 p.m. 7 hours before that would be 4 p.m. on the previous day. 4 p.m. on the previous day. Because backwards 12 hours from 11 a.m. that takes us to 11 p.m. the previous day. Go back 7 more hours, that takes us to 4 p.m. the previous day. Okay. And last question. Now adjust your time estimate for number 6 if the body was found outdoors during late November. Okay. So if the body was outdoors, it's very cold. Okay. That means that the cooling is going to happen quicker. Okay, the cooling is going to happen quicker. It's going to happen in less hours. Okay, so previously we said it took 19 hours. Okay, we are going to have to say that, okay, this speeds up the cooling. And how much? Okay, well, our estimate was somewhere between 11 and 24 hours since death. So we either add or subtract about 7 hours. Okay, so we take our estimate of 19, take away 7 equals 12 hours. And now our estimate is actually going to be 11 p.m. previous day. Okay, based on the fact the body was found outside, it must have cooled faster, so we had to revise our estimate. It had only been there for 12 hours. It hadn't been there for as long as 19 hours. Okay? Thanks for watching.